Welcome to episode number 2 of the WWIM podcast. That's WWIM, Women Who Inspire Me. I am your host, Dave McGrath. With me is our lovely, beautiful, talented, smart, and hilarious Colleen McCauley. Thank you so much for coming on.
Woo, I'm happy to be here.
Yes,
Ow!
Colleen is awesome. I've known her for like 3-ish years, maybe a little more than that.
Yeah, what year did we go to that grunge thing, the concert up in Gardner?
I want to say that was like right before the pandemic, maybe. Was that like
the summer before?
or the fall? Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was like cool as, that was
awesome.
a good time.
Yeah.
I love live music.
I know.
I
know, and they played all our grunge favorites.
Yeah. Did you grow up in that area? Or you?
No.
Okay.
I'm from Charlestown.
Born and raised.
Yeah. I lived there till I was about 17. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we moved to Wilmington. Now I live in the middle of nowhere.
Memorable Charlestown memories? What was that like?
I remember living there. No, it's like growing up in the city in the 70s and 80s. You know, it was a interesting time.
Yeah.
You know, doing the Catholic school thing, Irish thing. You know, the thing.
Siblings?
No.
Mm-hmm. Only child, Catholic, high school, or just elementary?
Half of high school, and then we moved, so I finished high school.
Going to mass every week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Mass,
Learn
black
all
mass. No,
CCD?
no.
No.
I went to Catholic school.
Oh, okay, so you knew all that stuff. Yeah.
We didn't have to do the
You didn't,
extra
yeah,
class because we learned it all day.
When was the last time you went to church?
Jesus. Like that wasn't for someone's funeral. Like,
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
For
I
mass,
have no idea.
I'm going to mass this week.
Well, I'm not even sure I consider myself Catholic anymore.
Yeah.
To be honest, nobody's doing that.
Same here.
Nobody's Catholic anymore. I was like Presbyterian for a while because I felt like they had like a good attitude about like what, like giving back what Jesus was doing. Like what would Jesus do? They actually kind of did it more than I felt like the Catholic Church did. I liked the more like personable approach. We had a woman pastor and she was awesome, and and it was very inclusive. And it was great because we actually had families from Cameroon who were part of our congregation.
Nice.
Yeah. And they brought a lot of fun. They spiced it up a little for us, so that made it, a little more fun. But then, I haven't gone to church like regularly in a long time.
Are you saying the Catholic Church isn't inclusive?
Well, it depends on what you want to include.
Not gay people.
Leave your sons at home.
So would you consider yourself Christian or like Presbyterian? That's a Christian.
Yeah.
But like now, do you talk to Jesus at all?
I mean, I think there's like part of me, like it's so indoctrinated.
Yeah, that you're just in there.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Like I'm being an only child. Like I was like, Jesus was my pal. Like there's some other people have other invisible friends.
Yeah.
So I had the best one.
So,
but I feel like my thoughts have evolved on religion and the whole like spirituality and religious kind of experience. I think over years, and people in power and stuff like that, they're just all kind of so corrupt that I've chosen not to really like align with anything super formal. I kind of enjoy the philosophies of Buddhism.
Yeah. Okay.
In some ways, but just about like, I work on myself, try to be a better person, moral energy, like how do I like level up, vibe up my energy to put out in the world, stuff like that.
And
I mean, I don't kill myself.
Well, I was going to say, and I think for
the
some
world can
people,
suck it
for some people,
levels.
religion, they can do that, right? They can do that with religion.
Right.
But like, I like what you're saying is like, it kind of boxes you in certain ways. And when you're
and then
more of a free spirit to like, I like this part of that and this part of Buddhism and this part, and you're going to expand not only your horizons.
Well, I feel like it keeps you open to all people,
right.
which I believe Jesus would do. It wouldn't let some people in or expect some people to conform to something that somebody made up somewhere.
Right.
Like something. let's make a religious rule because I'm uncomfortable with something or I want to hide my sin behind my rule, but then still go do it. And the whole thing is just such a fucking puppet show, you know? It's a farce of, you know, like individual power and stuff.
Well, that's like way back in the day when the church was starting, priests were the only ones that could read, and that gave them all the power. They're like, this is what it says, and here's what, you know, they not only said what it says in the book, but now also I'm telling you what the interpretation is and what you have to do because of this thing that you can't even read. Like, you can't even read. Yeah. Like,
yeah. And don't forget to give us your money.
Yeah. That's what, it's funny because I love my parents. They've been going to virtual mass for the past 2 years. But like, you know, my mom's very progressive. The Catholic Church is not, and she'd be like, "I can't believe they're still doing this." I'm like, "Mom, you know, if enough of you don't like what they're doing, you stop giving them money, they'll change the rules. Like that's what they really care about is your money."
It's almost religious. You ever watch that show, Absolutely Fabulous? And there's one of the scenes in one of the episodes, like Eddie's walking by a room with Patsy, and then like she has her Buddhist like thing set up, and she walks by and like gongs the things. She goes, "Are you still doing that?" And she goes, "Almost religiously." I just remember dying and laughing. It was just, that show was just amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I've seen a few episodes.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Yeah, humanizing like the moms and like, you know, kind of bringing like the potty mom thing, you know, to the forefront a bit, you know, like she was still being herself. Well, you know,
well, it's funny you say that. That just pops into my head, the party mom thing. Like, I almost think nowadays, not that it's overboard, but like you see all the like, I don't know if it's the combination of being a mother and drinking wine. There are products that are just dedicated just to that. Yeah, like, which blows my mind.
I know. Like, I'm like, why is everyone drinking wine? It's not even like fun, you know. So like, I'll go to tailgate with my wine at Metallica concert. Like, what? Why? No, well, you gotta drink beer, and burp, and like.
Well, that's the thing is like,
grab your labia.
If you have wine, you're being sophisticated, right?
Pinkies up. I said
that, like, if a normal person drank at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, people are like, what is wrong with you? But if you're tailgating at a Boston College football game at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, hey, that's what you're supposed to. If
there are no laws.
If you're not, we question you. Like,
you are not conformed to the time thing when you are tailgating. There's no time at all.
If everyone's doing it, it's okay, no matter what the time or... I guess location, or because like that's the other thing is you're in a parking garage drinking beer at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. But
I never went to a BC.
Did you speak? Oh, really? Well,
wasn't I supposed to go with you and I couldn't?
That did happen once, yes. But we'll make that up. Yeah. Speaking of being Irish and drinking, were you? Did you get into drinking at an early, like high school? Like when did you ever?
Not really.
No. Yeah, me neither.
My mother was kind of strict and stuff. Yeah. But you know, when you grow up, you have family members who have problems with it and stuff. So I didn't really drink till I was 22 or older. Yeah, I was a little bit older. I mean, here and there, I might have done some stuff with friends, but like. It never ended well. Someone was always puking or something. I'm just like, this sucks. So I didn't really... It made me nervous, I think, then. Yeah. And if my mother would have killed me if she caught me kind of thing, you know. And it's like, I think I want to live. I don't want to be drunk. So that wasn't my thing until I got like a little bit older. And I wasn't really a big drinker. I actually drank more after I moved to Lancaster.
Well,
I was fucking boring.
Well, that's what they say. Like kids,
I call it lame-caster.
Teens from like the out western Mass, the smaller towns, they just go to the woods and get shit faced. Because what else are you going to do?
There's nothing to do. Like nothing to do. You can't. There's not even any way to walk to. Like you know.
So speaking of, you grew up in Charlestown until you were 17. You said, and then what got you out of there? Was it school or?
They wanted to, move out of the city. Oh, okay. You know, we had enough, I guess. And some of like my mom's friends had moved to like Reading and stuff, so it was like the same area.
Oh, okay.
So they're still in the same house though.
Oh wow, yeah. Same as my parents. That's funny. How often do you go? visit Reading.
Wilmington.
Well, I thought you said Reading for some reason.
Well, their friends moved.
Oh, I got you.
Reading.
Sorry.
But well, I was actually just a dog sat for them when they were on vacation, so I was down there for like 10 days. I love being home at my mom's house when the parents aren't home. You still get that feeling like when you're a teenager and your parents are out and you're like, I'm not washing my dishes. like it's so great.
I'm having ice cream right now.
Oh, I'm on my couch with food. I want
Leave
my
the toilet
shoes
seat
in the house.
down.
I might swing up there after this.
That's cool.
Say hi.
So you moved there, and then what? Take me through the Colleen McCauley adventures. What got you into the movie Good Will Hunting? Like, what was it? Just like, hey, they're doing this movie, I want to try to be in it, or was there a show business itch before then? Or
well, I had always like growing up as a kid, I loved plays and stuff, and like Annie was like my most favorite play ever. I would listen to that record over and over, and it would be all the people, and then it was like if my mom was like being mean and making me clean, I'd be like blasting Hard Knock Life, and I'd be like, it's a Hard Knock Life, and I'd be like stomping around my room. I was so mad cleaning.
you can identify.
And then like the Wizard of Oz and stuff. Like I loved all that stuff, and being an only child, like I would just
you kind of
I'd play along.
That was your thing.
Yeah. I still play along with all the shows I watch and stuff, like Lost. I play Lost, and like if I don't like someone, I'm there and other, And then when my dogs come, we call her Smoke Monster. Anyway, so I'm saying, well, so yeah, I was into, and I did like a play in high school and stuff, and I took like theater classes in high school. Then I ended up moving to South Boston. I got married and had my son and stuff. And I was working at Dunk's on West Broadway, and they put up signs for like an open casting call. Oh no! First, I replaced someone in a play, Death of a Salesman, that was playing on Broadway at the end of Broadway. And then I made my friend Adrian. And then someone came in and was like, they're doing a casting call for people with Boston accents. And she's like, we should go. And I was like, okay. And so we went down to L Street Bathhouse, I think is where they had it. And you got like those little like drawing tickets.
Like a raffle ticket.
And then they would just like have groups of people come in and just read off of a little card, and it was lines from the movie.
Okay.
Good Will Hunting. It was. Do
you remember which one?
It was. Go out there in the rain with no call. I forget something about. You're gonna go out in the rain to call somebody or something like that. I forget what part. But so we all just read that.
Okay.
So they could get the accents, and then. They ended up calling me back. They didn't call my friend back.
Oh, that's how it always works.
Yeah, she didn't have a Boston accent. Yeah. She was not from Boston, And then I went to the callback, and so they had like it's probably like six, including me, like six women, just sitting there with the casting director and the director, Gus Van Sant, and just said, just pretend that there are people on the other side of the bar, guys you've known your whole life, who you're giving each other shit across the bar. Yeah. And the other girls didn't have accents. They didn't have a Boston accent. They sounded like they did not live in Boston to me.
Right.
Yeah. But and so they and it's kind of weird, like to just kind of cold improv that stuff, but. Like two girls went, I'm like, they don't even have an accent. And so when it was my turn, I was just like, fuck it. And I stood up, my chair fell over. I was just like,
that's Kathy.
Yeah. Actually, and they picked me for the other role, the one where the girl was walking in. And then they switched me.
Okay.
When I called me in for that, it was to be the girl who walks in and says, hi, Will. But they ended up switching me to the other one. So that was cool.
Were you happy about that switch?
I didn't care.
You
And
didn't know which one?
I honestly didn't even know what I was doing. Like, Good Will Hunting was not a thing. And I did not know those people.
And Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were barely, I mean, had been in stuff, but they weren't, if you said their name, people
You'd
would be
never
like,
heard
"Who?"
of Matt Damon before then?
I did not.
I mean, he wasn't really in that many movies before. Good
Yeah,
Will
they were in
Hunting.
like School Ties.
Yeah.
I think my sister-in-law knew who they were. She's like,
You
they're in
didn't
School Ties. And I was like, I was busy at work. I had a baby.
Yeah.
Like, I did not see. And at that time, there was no streaming. So
You didn't watch Voyage of the Mimi?
I
You know what that
didn't
is?
see- No.
Educational video with Ben Affleck in it.
No.
It's a science educational video with Ben Affleck that we watched.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So you just knew that was a movie, and like, yeah.
So you have pictures with him, but at the time you took the picture, you didn't think it wasn't that important to you until later?
Well, the pictures were from the premiere party. So I don't have pictures. Well, they took pictures on set, but they just took those. They took the pictures, not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that wasn't you saying, "Oh, I want to get my picture with Matt Damon."
Yeah,
that was just
no.
like, we're taking a picture of the cast.
Right.
And, yeah.
they take a lot of pictures when they're filming stuff
Yeah.
because of the continuity stuff. You know, because in that I'm drinking a Guinness,
Right.
which was root beer, that they would turkey based for head.
To make.
That's what she said.
Wait, they would really put.
It was, and put the turkey baster in it would give it like the little.
But
foam.
what is in there? What is in the actual thing? What are they turkey based? Like, what are they pushing?
The root beer.
Oh, so it's root beer on root beer. So it's not.
They just
okay.
put it in.
Oh, okay, and it just foams up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
And then, the character smoked, and so they had like a pack of cut in half cigarettes, so they weren't always like.
So they
full
look like you were in the middle.
cigarettes.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of cigarette. I was so sick at the end of filming. I had a wicked migraine from having to smoke these cigarettes, and I didn't smoke at the time because I have smoked cigarettes here and there. But it's been a long time, but then I wasn't. I was green when I left there. My head was pounding. I'm like,
How many takes do you think you did?
Well, when we got to when I was filming my portion of that scene, it wasn't really so much like a lot of takes or take 10. Like we just kept improving things. You know, he'd be like, "Hey, Kathy," and the original script has the "fuck you" and your Irish curse.
Yeah. And then
line.
you added.
And then the rest of it was the
Yeah.
improv. So I tried to go from there and just keep coming up. And he'd say stuff, and I'd say stuff back. Sometimes we'd laugh,
Right.
but they just kept going,
Yeah.
you know. And then so I didn't know when I
What
got to the movie what
would be
they
in
would
there.
have chosen for. But it was fun.
Where did they premiere it in Boston? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was it was the Somerville Theater.
Okay.
And then they had a party at the Barn.
Oh, nice.
After,
That
yeah.
must have been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. So there's a picture of Minnie Driver, Matt Damon, and I. That's like people waited in line to go up and get their picture with them, or get autographs and stuff. So that was my turn to get my picture with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So did you came up with the Tootsie Roll line,
Yeah.
which is the best part of the whole
we were
line.
just saying. So I was just telling Mark, our producer tech guy, which you can't see on camera. But, I was saying, like, in the whole movie, your accent's the best accent. Like, and you can tell Matt and Ben are they're acting their accents, and
Right.
you're not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know, the first scene they filmed was the batting cage scene,
Mm-hmm.
and you can totally tell they're overdoing. No offense to you, Matt and Ben, but like they're overdoing their
Yeah,
accents.
call me if you need a dialect coach, guys.
Dialect coach, but not a medical supervisor. We've determined, correct? For
I am
movies?
not
Yeah. So if you go to
currently
IMDb,
a medical supervisor.
advisor or something.
Yeah.
If you go to IMDb, Colleen McCauley is listed as Kathy in Good Will Hunting, and also on I believe it's two movies. It says medical advisor, but that's some other Colleen McCauley.
I mean, you can ask. I make no guarantees.
I guess that would be like a show like ER. There'd be someone like, no, that's bullshit.
Right,
Like
yeah,
a doctor
yeah.
wouldn't say
Yeah.
that or do that.
Yeah.
That's a
Like,
cool job.
I would do it on General Hospital. Yeah. I would be a good medical advisor physician.
Do you watch that show?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of, here and there now, but like I was obsessed with the soaps
Some of
growing
those
up.
shows have been on for like 40, 50 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, you'd stay home from school, and it was all game shows during the day, and then all the soaps
And then
came
the soaps,
on. Yeah. And that was it. Like, those were your
That's
choices.
it. Yeah.
Or
Price is Right. Yeah.
Sale of the Century.
And then All My Children.
What else do you need?
I didn't need anything else. Just give me some Erica Kane.
Speaking of, you have All My Children, you have two. Is it 2 kids?
I do.
2 kids.
That's all of my children.
And we're good, and we're glad it is 2 like 3 too many? Or
Oh, they're a blessing.
it's a lot of responsibility. Well, it's the balance, right? It's a blessing, but also a stress. I can imagine. I can't imagine.
Well, I mean, they give you a lot. You get
Right.
you learn a lot about yourself when you have kids and all the things. But people don't spend enough time, I think, talking about how much emotional follow through, like emotional work, emotional follow through. Like that's where the parent burnout kind of hang out. Even changing them and feeding them. It's just it's your busy work. But as they get older and and start feeling things and interacting with people outside of the home and things like that, and how do you nurture them enough so they have self-esteem, so they'll stand up for themselves, so that's the real work, and it's really hard, and people don't even let you talk about that. If you're not I love motherhood so much, our kids are a blessing, I can't wait to make cookies and cut stuff out and glue it and blah, and that's all it is. That's all good, but that's not what real parenthood
the core
is.
of
It's not real parenthood, and I think that can it brings a level of depression and isolation to parents, men and women, because it's really fucking hard, and you don't know until you do it.
Right.
You can have siblings, you can think I babysat my whole life, but the way you the emotional stuff, the mental health stuff and all that, and what you as just a fragile human being can give to this other human being, and sometimes parents have problems, kids have problems, and and you're supposed to just still end up being a perfect parent that thinks it's so great all the time. No, it sucks, it can really, really suck and be hard.
And no matter
and
what
my kids
you do,
are awesome.
I was going to say, my parents were perfect, and when I was in college, I was a mess. It had nothing to do with what they did.
Right, yeah.
They were amazing parents. And
you're affected so much by your experiences in school and how you learn to be independent from your parents.
Right.
And then, but your parents are worried, and how much freedom do you give? How much, do you step on their tail? No, you got to let your kid, your kids aren't here for you. They're their own person, and you have to raise them in a way that when they leave the nest, hopefully they're fully functioning, and that, they can at least go pay bills and keep a job or whatever, but, it can be it's hard and it's stressful,
And nowadays with technology too, it's very different for things to worry about, or checking in on your kids, or they're not getting back to me. I'm sure I'm just glad I didn't have a cell phone when I was in college.
Well, even my son, he's 12 years older than my daughter, so he's 27 years old now. Much different experience, with the phone and all that stuff. There wasn't really. I think we had Nextels for a while, so we could walkie-talkies down in Boston.
Yeah, you'd be out in public and you hear all the fans.
Beep.
So that was you.
It was me, my walkie-talkie. But with her, it's been a lot more about the technology and the cell phone and there's another level, you feel like you're separated from their experiences in the world, and how do you keep a handle on it? Yeah,
they're having this whole other online technology thing
Secret
that you
life.
probably have no idea what's going on with that, unless something bad happens and she tells you. Maybe, I don't know. But that's the crazy thing. We didn't have. I was my cousin Katie was on first episode. And I was saying, when we were in high school, one person would come up with an idea. Let's go drive go-karts, let's go to the movies. And then you called your other friends to tell them that that's what we were doing. So your options were, well, you're doing this with us or you're staying home.
Yeah.
There wasn't no
Yeah.
texting other people, oh, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? It's just like,
no.
that's what's going on.
Yeah, that's it. Or they show up at your door.
Right.
Damn it. Just go knock on the door and see if someone could come out. And now it's like if you call somebody without texting
Yeah.
and asking if
Right.
they can call,
Oh, forget it.
you are a
Yeah.
violent psychopath. Like, you just call me? I'm very bold. I'm sorry.
And
I
it's
just
so
had a
much
quick
better.
question.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, in calling, you can have it could be a 20-minute text back and forth and a 2-minute call.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, so I don't know. Kids are a trip for sure.
I'm sure it's a balancing act between that and doing shows and
Yeah.
current job. What are we doing for income?
I do
nowadays?
podcasts.
Yeah, that's
And-
great. I hope you're not counting on this one.
We
we don't
don't.
have sponsors yet.
We don't have any salary for you guys. Just letting you know.
What? I'm out of here.
Listen, I could live off my fat for like 1 month. So if we could get a sponsorship for the next one,
You do have a
cool.
show. you do have a show coming up on 420.
I have
correct?
a show at 420 in Fitchburg. That will be fun. Doing some celebrating
Yes.
natural products
Yeah,
and
I mean,
whatnot.
Speaking of the way things have changed since we were in high school, the marijuana industry and just companies and just how open and out there it is mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Mind-boggling, right?
Yeah. People just, and like with their kids, around and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's just so different, even, as a consumer of,
Right.
It's like, I'm still like, shh, don't tell anybody,
Well, it's still
gotta
like that,
hide
right? It's
somewhere.
still like that.
Yeah.
It's still the mentality of
Ingrained.
this is bad, even though it's perfectly legal almost everywhere now.
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's like, when we were younger, like, we were, like, thinking, like, oh, like, we thought we were just getting high and laughing and stuff, but not realizing how much it was, like, you knew it helped you feel more relaxed
Right.
and stuff, but now, like, it's recognized as a way to help people
Yeah.
with anxiety.
Right.
But back then you were just a druggie who
Right.
also
Oh, yeah.
got to have less anxiety.
Well, and now we know the mechanisms for what's actually happening and
Right.
all the different, CBD, THC, all the different,
Yeah.
molecules in this plant that help you with this, and this.
Yeah,
and back in the
terpenes
day,
and
you
all
just
that.
got a bag of weed. You didn't know
No.
indica, sativa. You didn't know
No.
what it was. You
I'm
just
like,
knew
I
it
have
was a bag of weed.
$50.
And now you have there's a menu.
Oh,
like
I
when you
know.
go to.
Oh, I know. They're like chunky monkey or Jack's decapitated head. I don't know. I'll take Jack's decapitated head.
Alex Giampapa actually has a joke about that. How like they're treating medical conditions, but they still have the purple monkey, like the silly names that aren't gonna be like, whoa, I'm gonna give you some purple monkey for
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the crazy thing is like I have my medical card for my Crohn's disease, but again, everything's about money, right? So in an ideal world or a normal what it should be world, I should get my medical card from my Crohn's doctor. I should go to my Crohn's doctor and be like, marijuana helps me, and my Crohn's doctor should be like, okay, I'm going to approve you for this card. That's not how it works. There's just the weed doctors that you go and they want the $200 to
Right.
give, and they don't care. My first time, I went with my medical records. I was like, here,
Oh,
I
I
have
know.
Crohn's. They didn't even look at them.
I'm ready to present my
Give
case.
you a card. We don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
No, sit down. You're going to hear every goddamn word. I just pulled this whole fucking folder together.
right?
And you're going to listen.
The journey.
I want to be heard.
But it's all about money. But
It is. It's definitely all about
I think
money.
that's why it's legal too. People figured, oh, you can make money off this, and the world's, people. I think that was the thing.
No.
Like, well, if they legalize it, the world's going to go to shit. No, it hasn't yet.
No.
Although, did you read? There were 2 recent stories about students consuming edibles in school that they, of course, got at home and had to be rushed to the hospital.
Oh,
and it's
they
like,
think they're dying
right,
and everything.
they're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Well, one of the
eat a pizza and take a nap. You'll be fine.
One of the superintendents, she was quoted as saying something like, "Well, we don't like to have drug activity like this at the school. No, that's not drug activity. Someone took an adult product from their house and brought it in. Like,
Right.
You wouldn't say, if someone was doing shots of booze, you wouldn't say we have drinking activity going on in the high school. You'd be like, well, someone messed up and made the wrong decision.
I remember when I first went to Wilmington High, I didn't know anybody there. And, eventually you like kind of end up chatting with people a little bit. And this kid came up to me in the hallway one day and he was like, "Hey, Colleen." And he sticks his tongue out at me. And I was like, okay. And later on, I was in the study class. And it was in the cafeteria, and the teacher was in there. The kid ran by, and he's like, "Oh, that guy." And I go, "I know, he just like stuck his tongue out at me eating a piece of paper."
Oh.
Whoops. I did not know that that's how you did acid.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Dumb. Like, I was from Charlestown. I had no idea how to do that. I'm like...
You're like, is he cheating on a test? Did he
I'm
put
like,
an answer in?
he eats paper. I don't know. Like, some kids eat paper. Yep, he was tripping, and the teacher's like, "What?" And I'm like, and I'm like totally telling on him because I'm like, it's totally stupid. But,
We didn't have, I don't think anyone did acid while I was at St. John's in Shrewsbury, but you never know.
you don't know. People are up to all kinds of stuff.
Well, that's the other, that's the other good thing about legalization, right? Is you actually know what you're getting.
Right.
Like back in the day, whether it's an illicit, whether it's marijuana or LSD, whatever, you got, like you said, you got a piece of paper. Who knows what's on that piece
could be
of
nothing.
paper?
They could have just peed on it. I don't know.
It's definitely good to know what you're putting in your body. The more information you have to what you're putting in your body, the better.
The more you know.
Right. There's some crazy stat, like, I want to say 80% of, if you go to the grocery store, 80% of what's on the shelves didn't exist 100 years ago. But it's because it's not really food, right?
Oh,
it's just
right. Yeah.
They're making a product that has all these additives and all this thing that isn't food.
Sodium blocks. Some taste like beef. Some taste like chicken.
I haven't been at the grocery store in 2 years. I still do curbside pickup.
Oh, nice.
It's so much. Well, I have my order from last week, so I add and delete that, and then just drive up, and it's free. They just
I know, and they just
me.
pop it right in your trunk. I know. I'm like, I could have used that when I had a baby in Southie and I lived on the 3rd floor. Even if they brought it up the first steps at the stoop, I would have been pumped. I'm like, a baby in a bucket, groceries.
You do see some grocery stores. I know Stop and Shop. You see expecting mother. There's a car spaces that say expectant mother. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, they have them at CVS too.
That's nice, I guess. But the part of me is like,
what if I'm expecting to pee? I should have this spot. I have to go to the bathroom. Let me in this goddamn store.
Where's the injured hockey player spot? Sometimes I need a spot close up because I wrecked my leg playing hockey. I want that spot.
Yeah, let Lord limps a lot in first. His pain is equal.
But that's I guess. But that's a difference too. Is like back in the day. Well, you have something. You're pregnant. Well, you might have to walk into the store further. That's your tough. But now it's like, oh, we need to pander. Anyone that has something out of the ordinary going on, we need to make sure they're 100%.
Well, that's why I keep my stomach nice and.
So you can sneak into those spots.
I need to sit down. I can't wait. Oh.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, part of their thing is they want to have everyone, if you have a card, so if you have a condition where you need to go to the bathroom really fast, you can just go in, and a lot of businesses are like employees only. Well, that card will just get you in to their bathroom. It's like, sorry, it's the law.
Yeah. You'll be like weighing in gas going to see Alice Cooper with your VIP pass. You gotta take a dump. Sorry, coffee shop. Sorry, AA meeting.
Right. Yeah, right. You pick the.
You don't know where you're gonna have to go.
Right. You never know. It's way more in control than it was back in the day. But it's nice having a shit disease. I'm a shithead, so I guess that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about growing up. We talked about Good Will Hunting and performing. So what got you into the world of stand-up comedy?
Oh, probably like some kind of brain worm or something.
It's a disease.
Let's see. Well, I was always a big Kids in the Hall fan.
Okay, yeah.
I love Kids in the Hall. I like sketch comedy. I liked them more than SNL. I like the kind of edgy weirdness and stuff. And I liked acting. You know, and so a friend of mine and I were talking about maybe trying to put like maybe a little sketch thing together, or we were also working on a little script based on my experiences working at a car dealership. So we were writing that, and you know, but I'm kind of like, if it's not due in 10 minutes, then I don't do it at all. Kind of, yeah. Last minute Louis, and so I was like, well, maybe I got one of those night class things from the Mount. And they had a stand-up class with Jerry Caruso, and I was like, well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe like that will help me like to like be more disciplined with writing.
Okay.
So I took the class, and then we had like a graduation class, and place it's not open anymore, but they had a back room, so we all got to do a little set for our family and friends, and hold on notes and all of it, and you know, so I did that, and then I didn't do anything for like almost a whole year. Like, it was
What
like
year
8
was that?
months.
That you
2009. Yeah, so it's been a while. I didn't do anything for a long time, and then Jerry reached out and said, would you like to perform on the show for my next graduating class? So you have like the old students come in too. So I did that, and I ended up meeting my friend Bitsy, and she was doing an open mic at Collins in the Air. And which is not there anymore, but that was a fun one. And so then I had some place that wasn't too far from where I lived. Yeah. I could go once a month, and then just started kind of going out with Bitsy a little bit and getting out a little bit more, and then just kind of, you know. But since 2009, I mean, I took a couple of years off here and there. You know, you have something bad happen, and you need some time, or you're busy, and so I wouldn't say I've been like doing comedy since 2009, because I definitely don't have that much time.
Yeah.
But you know, I've met people over that period of time, and I don't know, I ended up kind of sticking with it, because then it became like kind of there was enough challenges to meet and try to conquer, and you know, you there's always something to work on. Even this much time later, I can write down a bunch of jokes, but like, you know, I still gotta smooth out my performance, make it better, try to remember them all. You know, it can be hard when you're going to do a set, like, you know, if you had a bad day, like how to like leave that you know, at home and get there and like try to be like, hey, you know, and but those were like challenges that I guess I liked for myself. They were like, I liked being like, oh, I had a suck set, but my next set was good. Like, you know, trying to always improve on that. But I still like, I like acting better more. Like, I guess, yeah, definitely. I'd rather do comedy acting than in stand up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we have the script. Forgot about. Should we redo?
What a segue!
Yeah, right?
Oh, it was like you hired me.
So even though there's 2 lines each, I still highlighted. Now, okay. So you said some of this was improv and some of it wasn't, but
let's see what I can remember.
Yeah. Oh, do you want you don't want to put your glasses on? Oh, you want to do it without your?
I'm gonna see if I can remember. Yeah.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. I'm probably just gonna read.
All right.
Kathy!
What?
Why didn't you give me none of that nasty little hoochie-woochie you usually throw at me?
Oh, fuck you and your Irish curse, Chucky. You think I'm going to spread my legs for that Tootsie Roll dick? Why don't you go home and give it a tug yourself?
End scene.
End scene. Oh!
And you had...
No, slap me and give me an Academy Award.
Right? Well, I was just like, so you delivered that line to Ben Affleck.
Yes.
And Casey was immediately to your left.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And he went, Tootsie Roll!
He went,
right?
"Toot, toot."
With that must have been improv too, right? Like
Yep.
that, yeah.
Yep. We just kept doing it. We did a lot of laughing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Had you used the Tootsie Roll line on anyone in your personal life?
No,
prior
never.
To that?
Not once. No, it was...
just came to you.
From the Lord.
All that years of being a Catholic paid off. You delivered the best line.
I wish I could see some of the other stuff we said. I know, like some
like
of the
the
stuff he
outtakes?
said to me. Yeah,
yeah.
He said to me that were really funny that I broke on. But I would never be able to remember.
Yeah.
But what was fun was because they weren't famous. Like, so at that time, my son was like 2.5 when we filmed it. It was probably around June-ish, I think, May or June. And my son was like 2.5, and we were able to go watch the fight scene at the playground.
Okay.
You know, when
I have
they're
a story about that. Yeah.
and then when they saw us and they come over and they were like, "Hey," said hi to Jakey and pick him
nice.
up and stuff. And then I worked at Dunk's at the time, and one of the days Ben Affleck came in and he got a couple of coffee culottes and reduced fat blueberry muffins. Said hi,
Nice.
and I'm like, "Hey, like I don't know, they weren't anybody then, so it was." They were super nice. I literally couldn't say anything bad about them. They were super nice, smart. Like, Ben Affleck is funny, and he's so affectionate. He's probably one of the most affectionate people you could meet. Hugs everybody. He's just very huggy. And you see pictures, he's always hugging like his girlfriends or his pals. Like, he's just an affectionate guy, and they were very sweet. Yeah, good people. They were good to me.
Gus Van Sant, did you...
Yeah. He was nice, kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Not a lot of talking with him.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
But then also, Cole Hauser is in that scene, who now plays Rip on Yellowstone.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's great.
Well, I'm going, okay, I keep saying Cole Hauser's in that show. I hadn't watched it yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't seen anything with him in it. And then they dyed his hair brown and his beard because he's a strawberry blonde guy.
Right.
I didn't even recognize him with the beard and stuff. And I go, oh, that's him. Oh, my God. Holy crap. I can't believe it. That show's pretty good if you haven't seen it. I like it.
What it's streaming?
Yellowstone? I think so. It was on Peacock, I think.
Peacock, okay.
And they
run
marathons on it of it and stuff sometimes. But no, it's a good one. Like, it's like a cowboy drama. It's a boy soap. Yeah. That's what I call those shows to aggravate men. I'm like, oh, it's your soap on? Do they gotta fall in love? Do they go dink to dink or dink to bum? And then I get kicked out of the room.
The age-old question of what do they do?
I asked the hot hitters, Davey. You know it.
Did you get to talk to Robin at all?
I was going to say that. Williams?
No.
Didn't even get to meet him.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't even. Yeah. I'm devastated about that, Yeah. But, I mean, we're attached by that movie, so you better be waiting for me when I pass away. But I'll be like, sorry I missed you. And I'll be like, that's right.
He won Best Supporting Actor, I believe,
Yeah.
for that, and it was Best Original Screenplay too.
Yeah,
they won.
Yeah. And what was fun is they, the night of the Academy Awards, L Street Tavern blocked off the 8th Street and put a big tent out.
Oh yeah.
And had a big party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got to dress up and go to the party.
And you almost gone apeshit when it won, right? I mean,
it was very exciting.
Yeah.
I just couldn't even believe it. Before the movie was released, one of the cops in that fight scene at the playground came into Dunk's and he was like, hey, did you hear? That movie's getting Oscar buzz. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I did not even believe it. I was like, beat off.
Yeah.
He goes, no, I'm serious, Colleen. They're talking about Oscars. And I'm like, did not even.
Even after I saw it, I loved it. But you didn't think Oscar when you saw that movie. I'm sorry. It's one of my favorite movies ever, but I did not think Oscar when I saw that movie.
Oh, I didn't. I couldn't even believe I was watching a movie I was in. Like when they had the premiere in Somerville, I'm like just sitting there looking at the screen, and I'm at the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
so then I had to sit through the rest of the fucking movie.
Right,
Right?
right.
Who cares about that shit?
I'm seeing what I want to.
Yeah, I could barely pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, it's exciting and like weird and like
Surreal,
Like,
yeah.
like, oh my god, I always wanted to be an
Well,
actress, and
I
I'm
am.
being an
There it is.
actress.
There it is.
And literally, my favorite part though was the credits.
Yeah.
Because my name was like, I was in the, like, I was like the 8th person or something.
Because it went by order of appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's me. Yeah.
Colleen McCauley. Colleen McCauley. That's me.
It was probably around, I want to say 2000 or 2001. And I was driving my friend Christina home. I lived in Waltham at the time, and she lived in South Boston. So she's like, oh, pull up right there. My apartment's right there. I was like, oh, okay, cool. She's like, oh, look across the street. And I was like, oh my god, it was the playground from the fight scene. She
Oh.
was right across the street from me. I was like, I gotta get out and go over there. Like,
Piss in the
Yeah,
playground.
right.
I'm part of the movie.
yeah, right? Can I punch? Do you mind if I punch you, Christina?
It was wicked funny watching that because they had to do like slow motion shots.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like slow
They're like,
motion
"Roar."
punching
Yeah,
without
they're-
laughing. I was like, it was like funny.
Did you get recognized with not from people that knew you, but just from after that movie, from strangers?
You know what's kind of funny? A couple times, and one time, it was like way later, like way after the movie had come out, and it was the guy who was giving us a ride home from the airport,
Ooh.
and he heard me talk, and he had seen the movie so much, like he,
Yeah.
you know, we get in like, hi, thank you, blah, 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 you know, and his head whipped around. He's like, you sound like the girl from Go Well Hunting. And I like looked at my husband and I'm like, is this a joke? Like, am I being punked? Like, he didn't, like, did he already know? Like, I didn't know if he already, I don't know, you know,
Yeah.
because who the fuck is going to recognize my voice when the movie hasn't been out in a long time?
Right.
His head whipped right around. It's like my favorite fucking movie. Oh my God, I can't believe you're in
He's
my
like,
van.
Will you tell me I have a Tootsie Roll
Oh, I
dick,
know.
please?
It's like, guys, you don't have to beg me to tell you you have a small dick. I mean,
I've said it enough to enough guys. So.
well, men, they're nothing if not consistent. Tootsie Roll. I was hoping for a Charleston chew along the way, but no.
Speaking of dick jokes, what is it like to be a woman in comedy? Like it's a whole other ball game, right?
Well,
You
I
think-
would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, you must feel like you're in the minority a lot of times when you're on a. How many times are you the only female?
Oh,
Most
God.
of the time, right?
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, sausage fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I feel like my comedy whole thing is like probably different from a lot of people just because I've been so inconsistent with it. Like I'm out, then I'm not. I'm
Right,
out
right,
now.
right,
It's
right.
COVID. Now a couple of years
that
off.
threw everyone off.
Yeah,
right?
and so like from looking like when I started to now, the people who it's always males who really propel
Yeah.
and stay up there.
Right.
The women have to kind of
Like
work,
waiver, yeah.
and a couple of the women are now starting to appear at certain places that only have certain people,
Yeah.
but they've managed to get
Okay.
in. But they've had to do a lot of work where other people, like, you know, men kind of,
More
it's
skyrocket.
easier for them. Yeah,
yeah.
they go from here to here,
Yeah.
where women kind of go.
Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum,
So,
yeah. And is that just? I mean, part of it too. Like,
I
you
mean,
just-
I had kids, different ages, stuff going on. Like at one point, my grandmother and my father died,
Yeah,
and I
so
was
that's
just not in
kinda-
good shape.
Yeah.
And you know, there's all these different variables for each person. I feel like maybe sometimes for women, if they have kids, it can be a little more difficult because you have those things at home that take
Yeah.
the priority over hitting open mics. Getting out for open mics was a little easier when my daughter was younger
Right.
because she'd go to bed early, you know.
And then you go out.
But now she's older, and you want to make sure that you're enough of a presence at home, that you're staying connected. Sometimes it might be 2 weeks before I get to an open mic, and sometimes it'll be one open mic every other week for a while, and then coming back from COVID, they're not all there anymore, or certain mics will be like so long because like everyone will be like 40 people on the list, and it's like, no, I live an hour away. I'm not staying here till 1 to listen.
2 minutes.
Fucking beat off jokes. Like I just can't. I have a few things I want to work on.
Yeah.
I'd be better off. Sometimes they'll just stay home and write, and just kind of. I mean, I'm not afraid to go up and talk into the microphone, so I can kind of work at home on stuff. It's not the greatest because you need the audience feedback, but for me, I can practice how I deliver things at home, and I think, if you struggle to talk into the mic and stuff, you need to be out all the time.
Yeah.
And I should be out a couple times a week because my inconsistency going out, I feel leaves my set inconsistent.
Oh, of course, yeah. That makes total sense. So, like you said, it's energy, and if the more energy you put into something, the more you're going to get out of it.
Right.
Speaking of, you mentioned writing. Have you ever written anything non-joke, or thought about writing a script, or like a book or a memoir or any of that?
Well, my friend and I had started a script for that show. That was based on my experiences working at a car dealership.
Oh, right. Yeah, you mentioned
and I have a couple essays published. Friend of mine, Jen Lugos, put together some compilations. Different people contributed essays. Is that the right word? Mug of Woe. So Mug of Woe, they're like travel stories. Oh, okay. So it's a humor essay, but I have one essay and like 2 different books on that.
That's cool.
And then this other woman, I got an essay. It was about like smoking, like the book was about smoking, quitting smoking and different things. And I talk about when I smoked at first and got caught and stuff like that. So I've done some of that. I have like some essays written. I have been thinking about like a memoir or essay book where I just like, just different things that have happened. And, I have a lot of stories. I have a friend of mine who's a writer, my friend Kevin. And he's like, well, we can start like, working some of these stories out, and like help like organize thoughts and stuff. Because sometimes like just being at home, it's not that easy to write either. Like,
I was going to ask you about your process. Will you just tell yourself, okay, at 7:00 tonight, I'm writing?
Well, I'll tell myself that.
And then you tell yourself,
Well, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to switch the laundry around.
And then, all these other things.
I got to let the dog out. Oh, she wants a bone. Oh, the cat. So next thing
you have the intentions.
It's 9:30.
Yeah.
But I find like I do better at nighttime when everyone else is settling down. So I'm like, do you need a book at 10:30 p.m.? Because I can write you a book at 10:30 p.m. But if you want something at 10 a.m., that's not going to happen. I don't know. I just feel like the creative stuff comes out. I say between 9 and midnight.
Right.
It's like,
now, do you think there's something to that, though, right? For a lot of people. Being more creative
I think creative
night.
people are more like night people.
Yeah. We're night owls. We don't like morning. We want to sleep in the morning.
I do.
And be creative and have fun at night.
Yeah.
That's and I think to me, all the during the day stuff, that's when you take care of all your responsibilities. Then when nighttime comes, all right, I can write,
Yeah. But sometimes I may have to set up my writing stuff at noon.
Just have it there, and then
and I do stuff, and then if I think of something, I just go blah, blah, or grab my pen or whatever. But I always try to have pen and notebook somewhere.
Yeah,
my car, my pocketbook. Like I have napkins. I have book bags of notebooks. like with napkins and sheets of paper in the back of an envelope and all kinds of stuff with just like a funny line that I thought of. There'll be like a million ideas there,
I'll try.
God help my kids when they have to clean out after I die. Oh my God. They'll be like, did she
What was she
even love
writing?
us? I don't even know.
Do you write about them? No.
Well, I do some stuff.
Yeah.
You know, my act. You know.
Yeah. One woman show. Would you ever?
I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can I'm a physical performer.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not John Belushi or anything, but I do a lot of like miming stuff when I perform because I like acting, so, and I feel like it gives it something a
We
little
talk about
oomph.
Tom Brady's rings. I love that. I love that. We won't ruin the joke.
Come see us.
Yeah.
But, well, and I do like a joke about like turtle moms and at the beach and this whole, like I have a bunch of stuff that I act out that people, they enjoy it. They'll be like, oh, I love the energy you bring to the stage, and then when you do that thing, when you do that joke, that makes me laugh. Like, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, you're like, there's certain comedians like Brian Regan. Like when you see Brian Regan, you gotta see his face. You gotta see him doing
Yeah.
You gotta see that.
Yeah, I do a lot of face stuff. Face.
It'll be nice when this COVID thing is finally down and like regular shows come back. And
Well, that's the thing too. It's like I'll be like, oh, hit an open mic and reach out, see if I can get on a show somewhere, and then like you'll hear like 3 people got COVID,
Right,
and
then
2 of them are long COVID, and you're like, am I doing the wrong thing? Like, I don't want COVID.
Right.
I don't
Right.
like. Some people don't get it, but
You
you
never
don't know.
You never got it.
I don't think so.
I never got it. Mark, no,
Never.
Yeah.
But I have friends, they just got it, and they've been sick for like a wicked long time.
Yeah.
I feel like this
And
year
it makes me
everyone's
scared.
going to get it.
Eventually,
By the end
or
of
be
the year.
exposed,
Well, like the
or be
flu,
exposed, right? Yeah.
something. Like, and I'm like, I want to get millions of shots, but so you get like another booster, but I'm not into like getting boosters for the rest of my life.
It's so funny how like there's some people that are, and I'm against telling anyone what they can do with their body, whether it's what you can put in or what you don't want to put in. But then there are people that are very anti-vaccine, but then they also want to tell you can't get an abortion. It's like, but you can't.
None of it makes sense.
Right. None of the last 2 years have made sense.
Everything is upside down world.
Right.
Like someone shook the snow
Well,
globe.
that's kind of what, when society crumbles, isn't that what usually happens? Usually what happens first is like everything just starts
Yeah.
getting bizarre.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're in, right?
I think so. That's what I've been saying. This is all a scam setup as far as I'm concerned. They know what the people in power know what they're doing.
They want to drag this.
Yeah, they're fundamentally changing the whole planet
Right. And then
for their benefit. It's not going to be for us. It's not going to be for us. Even if they say, oh, you have the universal health care, we'll be super fucked, dude. Don't worry. You'll be waiting. Yeah. You'll be sitting there with your flopping broken leg for 4 months, Well, what a miracle.
I was just saying this to my cousin Katie. When you have 8 guys in charge of 75% of the wealth of the world, like,
Yeah.
they're not going to change anything.
No, they don't
They're
care.
gonna make it
They don't have a thing to worry about ever.
for them.
Yeah. Let's go,
On that note, no.
go blast off into space.
On that note, we can. I think, unless you got anything to add, anything want to tell our lovely listeners about, Colleen? You've been awesome.
Oh,
Always great seeing you.
I love you, lovely listeners.
I love you, Colleen.
Thanks for tuning in. You're the best. Oh,
Thanks for what you do.
that's
and
very kind.
Colleen
I appreciate it.
McCauley, everyone. Thanks for listening.
All right, love you. Bye.
Yeah.